All right, today we are starting our Equations and Expressions Part 2 packet. So make sure that you have your notes available, and we're going to go through writing expressions and equations. So let's just first remember the difference between equations and expressions. Remember, an equation, that word inside is equal, equal in there. So an equation has an equal sign. So it has both equations and expressions have numbers or variables and operation signs, but the difference is an equation will have an equal sign. Okay, so all of these are examples of equations, and expressions will not have an equal sign. So remember, for expressions, I will have to give you the value of the variable in order for you to solve, but in equations, you're going to solve for a variable, and that's what we're going to be working on this unit. All right, so last unit, we wrote expressions. So remember, we had to make sure that we knew these words. So you can always go back and refer to any of these if you need to as you are writing expressions and equations. So last unit, our expressions look something like this. So they were very simplistic. Find the sum of a number and 6. So sum would imply that we're adding, and a number, I don't know what that is, so that's my variable. So any variable, x plus 6. Okay. Number 2, and this is not in your notes. It's just reminders. 3 more than the difference of a number. I don't know what that number is, so that can be my variable, and 7. So remember, anytime you have more than one operation, so I'm obviously going to be adding here, and the difference is subtracting. Always go to that end part first. So the difference of a number and 7, so the difference means subtract, so x minus 7, and then 3 more. Okay, and then the next one, the product of 5 divided by y. So the product of 5 and y, the product of 5 and y, and then divided by 3. Okay, so 5 and y, the product is 5 times y, and then I'm going to divide by 3. Okay, it wouldn't make sense to put dividing by 3 at the front. All right. Okay, so now we're going to work with some real-world expressions. So this is real-world, like word problems. This is where some of you had some issues, so that's why we're going to go over a little bit more in writing equations as well. All right, so as you go through, I want you to underline things that you view are important. So Bob weighs 7 more pounds than Jack, and Jack weighs p pounds. So write an expression for Bob's weight. Okay, an expression, so we're not going to have an equal sign. So I underlined 7 more pounds than Jack, and Jack weighs p. So now I could just say it's 7 more than p. So that means I know Jack's weight, and then I add 7 to it. Okay? Next one. Tiffany, and you have these, so underline as you go. Tiffany has $6 less than Jessica. And Jessica has D dollars. So this is how much Jessica has. So if I want to go back and read it, it says $6 less than Jessica, or D. $6 less than D. Remember that tricky part with less than, you kind of switch the order. So it implies that I know what Jessica has, her dollars, and then I take away 6. Okay. All right, next one. A plumber charges $50 just for coming to your house, and then $20 an hour for his service. Write an expression to represent his earnings if I went for H hours. Okay. So again, I would need to know, first of all, I know he's charging $50. I know that, but I also know he's charging $20 an hour, but I don't know those hours. So I would need to say 20 times my hours. That's how much it's going to charge for that hourly rate. But then just that $50 just for coming out. Okay, you can put that plus 50 at the beginning or at the end, it doesn't matter. Okay, all right, so those are writing expressions. So you've got 2 to do, those are on your paper. So pause the video and come back when you have these 2 completed. All right, Allie weighs 17 pounds less than Matt, and it says that Matt weighs p pounds. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to cross off Matt because I know that that is going to represent p. So all I need to know is what is 17 pounds less than p. So that means I know his weight, and then I take away 17. Okay, Mark's quiz grade is 1 more than twice Ted's quiz grade. And it's telling me that Ted's quiz grade is G. So I'm going to cross this off because his test grade is going to represent G. So 1 more than twice G. So first I got to figure out this part first. Twice G. Twice means to multiply by 2. So 2G and then 1 more. Okay? All right, so that's writing expressions. So now we're going to move to equations. So equations just mean that I'm going to be giving you another piece of information. I'm going to be giving you the total, or you're going to have to find the total. All right, so in your notes, you have 3 problems, so let's go through these. You're going to underline as you go to help you figure out what you know in this situation. All right, so Mark scored 17 points in a basketball game. His teammates scored a total of X point, and then the team as a whole scored 46 points. So write an equation to represent the situation. Okay, so I know how many Mark scored, I know how many his teammates scored, and then I know how many they scored all together. So that first piece I really want to work to is all together. This is my total. That's all of them together. So that's 46 points. That's all of them together. So wouldn't these two together have to equal this? So that's just going to be Mark's scores plus his teammate scores should give me that 46. Okay, now you can have X plus 17. The order here doesn't matter because that's the commutative property. Doesn't matter the order for an addition problem. Okay, all right, let's try the next one. Olivia has a fish tank that contains 34 fish. There are 8 goldfish and F other fish. Write an equation to represent the situation. Okay, so again, you kind of want to look for your total. So this would be my total. So I know I have a total of 34 fish. And how did I get those fish? Well, it would have to be these two together. So 8 plus F. Again, it could be F plus 8, and that would work too. Okay. All right, third one there. All right, these are actually questions that you would really use in real life situations. So Lily rented ice skates for 8 hours. So for some amount of hours. The rental fee was $3 an hour, and she paid a total of $12. So write an equation to represent the situation. Okay, so we know that she paid a total of $12. So that's my total. I gave you that information. So the question is, how did I get to that total? Well, she makes $3 per hour. She rented them for $3 per hour, but I don't know the hours. So that's where my variable comes in. So I would have to multiply 3 times my hours, or 3H equals 12. Okay? Now, again, with these writing equations, I don't really need for you to come up with your answer yet. We're just working on writing them out. The next time we'll be talking about actually solving them. Okay? All right, you've got 3 questions, your turn. It's on your paper right there. All right, pause the video and come back when you have your answers. Okay, you're just writing the equations, not solving them, writing the equations. All right, check out your answers here. So some of these were kind of tricky because they ended up being division problems. So if you have division problems, you know you're starting off with your total. So I have 105 beads to make N necklaces, and they have 15 beads on each. So that means my total beads divided by my necklaces would give me 15 beads each. Or actually, this one probably makes more sense. The 105 beads divided by 15 beads is going to give me how many necklaces? Okay. Kyle is K years old. His 13-year-old sister, Allison, is 4 years younger than Kyle. So Allison is 4 years younger than K. So Kyle's year, how old Kyle is, minus 4 is going to give me his 13-year-old sister. Or Kyle's age minus 13 years is actually, this one makes the best sense. Okay? And then the last one there, Mason bought 72 sticks of gum. There's S sticks of gum in each package. So again, this is giving me my total, and I'm breaking them into something. So that would be a division problem. Okay? All right, so these were a little tricky. So you've got an exit slip. You've got 4 questions on your exit slip, okay? I want to see these tomorrow before you start the next part, okay? So I want to see these tomorrow. If you have any questions, please let me know. Have a great day, guys.